and welcome to this tutorial. I'm Aline Skanewalker, the knitwear designer behind Skanewalker Knits. And in this tutorial I will show you how to unknit. If you need to correct a mistake, you can go back and undo your knitting, or think, how it's called in knitter jargon. And I will show you how to do that. So first, here I'm in the middle of a row and I noticed that I have some mistakes and I want to undo my knitting. So what do I have first? I have 2 knit stitches. So this is done. I will pull the tail a little bit. This is done this way. To unknit your knit stitch and have it in the correct orientation for working it again, you enter the stitch from the front to the back, like so. And you can double check where the stitch is, because this working yarn here will come right out of the stitch. So I enter the stitch from the front to the back, like so. And now I can drop this stitch here. Yep. So, and that's my working yarn. So it's getting long. So now I have one more knit stitch. So I will do just the same. Enter from the front to the back and then drop that strand. And now I have here my 2 knit stitches in the correct position, ready to go when I'm done with thinking. So let's see, what do we have here? I have a decrease. So this is a stitch that is leaning to the left. Here I have my 2 columns of stitches that were decreased. So I have to unknit the left stitch first and then the right stitch. So I will enter these 2 stitches from the back because I need to grab this one first. So I enter from the back to the front in both stitches. So now I have them both on my needle. And you can see that if I pull on it, the working yarn is coming from both loops. So this one I want to get rid of. So it has to go at the tip of my needle. And then I saved these 2. But with the SSK, there is a catch. Now they are twisted. Meaning that if I take another needle, the leg of the stitch that should be on the right, well, it's on the right side, but it's at the back of my needle. So I have to turn them around. So I do this like so. I grab this leg, the right leg, and I slip it. And now they are untwisted. With this one I will do the same. I grab the right leg, like so, and slip it. And now I will slip both stitches back. and they are now in the correct orientation to be worked again. So let's see what we have now. A knit stitch. Okay, so front to back and drop. Now I have once more a decrease, SSK. It leans to the left. So I do the same. I go from the back. It's okay to pull on your stitches to see better, so you can do that. I go from the back to the front, and I catch both loops. And you see in the back here, my working yarn is coming from both stitches. So this one I can drop, and it's gone. And now these two I have to untwist. So I do that in the same way. I grab the right leg and slip. I grab the right leg and slip. And then I slip them back. 1 and 2. Okay, so one more knit stitch. Front to back. And I have one more SSK. So I go from back to front. And unknit them. I'll show you if you forget to go back to front, and I will show you how to correct that. So if you think you should go from front to back, or if you just do it, you will end up with this. And I will try to separate them, but I don't really want, because they are, let me show you better. Now they are crossed actually. So what you have right now is a cable twist, and you don't want to have a cable twist in regular stockingnites or in lace. So they are just twisted like this. So what you want to do now is that you want to untwist them. So this one here should be first on the needle, and this one, this column here, should be second. So what I do is that I pinch both stitches so that they don't go anywhere. So here I have my two columns. I will pinch this, so at the front but also at the back. And now I will go to the tip of my needle and drop these two. And I still pinch. Now they are loose. And now I can put them in the correct order again. Like so. Don't stop pinching. So now, in any way, you want to grab them and have them on your needle. So normally what you would do is that you go from the front to the back, from the front to the back, and they have the correct orientation. If you don't do that, you can correct it afterwards anyway. So you can go, sometimes it's easier to go from the back to the front and from the back to the front. or any combination. You know, you can go from the back to the front and think, oh, it's easier this way. As long as you save them, that's okay. Now, what do we have? This one here, it has the correct orientation. So this one I will slip just like that, and this one, it is reversed. The right leg here, it's at the back and it should be in the front. So now what I'm going to do is that I grab the right leg, I slip, and then I slip it back. And now you see that the stitches is nice and open and it has the correct orientation. And this one I slipped as well, so I put it back. And my yarn is here, so I can go my merry way and untink the rest. So let's see if I have knit two together soon. Yes, so I go one knit stitch, one more SSK, front to back, sorry, back to front, untwist, 1, 2, slip back, 1, 2, unknit this one, and now I have one right leaning decrease, which is a knit two together. So if you look carefully, the stitch that is on top is the left stitch. So I need to unknit it first, and the right stitch here second. So I enter from the front to the back, like this. Front, let me show you nicely. So front to back, and I grab both strands. And you can always double check if you have everything. You look at where this yarn is coming from. That was your working yarn. I have everything. I have 2 stitches. Now I can drop this up and pull it. And I have my 2 stitches back on the left needle. And I go on like this. So one more knit two together, enter from the front to the back, double check that you have everything, and drop the stitch. One more knit two together. Let's move this, okay. Enter both stitches from the front to the back. So now I pull to show you. And I can drop this. Almost there. Now I will have a yarn over here. A yarn over is really easy to unknit. So first knit stitch, the yarn over, just drop it. one more knit stitch, one more knit stitch, a yarn over, drop it, knit stitch, yarn over, drop it, one more knit stitch. So I'll show you the ends because the end can be a little bit tricky. So a knit stitch here, hold on to this one, the first one, so that you don't lose it. But you can drop this one and now onto the last, very last stitch. Usually they are all bunched up, because this is the point where your yarn is turning. Well, if it's flat knitting, which I have now a piece of flat knitting. If it's in the rounds, well, you don't care actually. So here, move these ones. Here they are all sort of bunched up together vertically. So you can double check. I will unwrap this. You can double check where your working yarn is coming from. So the working yarn is here and here, of course. If I pull, you see it will pull on my finger. So what I want to double check is I want to grab the right hole for unknitting. So I have to check where the strand, the live yarn is coming from. So here you see there is a tiny, tiny, tiny hole it's coming from. And you have to get the needle in there. If I pull, I can make the hole a tiny little bit bigger. Trying to show you clearly. I will grab another needle if I can. I should have 3 hands, so that's not very easy. So here, that tiny hole here. This is where the yarn is coming from. So this is my stitch. So basically you catch this strand here. The live yarn is coming out of it. You catch it. Now I have my stitch. I can double check. You see, the live yarn is coming out of this loop. If I pull on it, you can see the loop more clearly. So now the only thing I need to do is, well, I'll let the loop loose. I pull on it, and now I have my last stitch, or first stitch, on there. So that's unknitting. Take it slowly, because it will take some practice, but it's not extremely difficult. It will allow you to correct mistakes in lace if you spot them. So that was it for this tutorial. See you next time.